Hi, I'm Thomas van Rekken and welcome to MatchMakers. In this series, we will interview 8 experts within recruitment marketing. We will discuss the methods, the newest technologies and developments. Today, our expert is Nikolas from Small Giants. Welcome. Okay, Nikolas, very nice having you here. You're one of the 8 experts which we will interview, and we are very curious to hear about your role within the company. Can you tell something about your job and your role within Small Giants?
Thank you for inviting me. Yes, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I'm Nicholas. I'm a software developer as a specialization, but I'm also head of A/B testing in Zero in the Small Giants. And I worked there for 5 years. We help a bunch of companies with the conversions, uplifts, and everything in the niche. I'm here today to give you as much as I can in the recruitment marketing world, and please feel free to give me a lot of questions, so I can give you a lot of answers, as many as I have.
Okay. Maybe before we dive into your specialization, because I think that's of very of interest, because the others are a little bit different, which we speak to. But
Yeah.
maybe Small Giants, can you give us a brief summary, like your niche?
Yeah, we're a market agency, market tech agency, so we help companies with multiple things. My department, we help companies with the Zero and A/B testing. I think it's nice to say a little bit about Zero. It is the technique of conversion rate optimization. So what we practically do, we help websites to convert better, whatever your KPI is. We scan your websites, we find the pains, what we can do better, and then we run something, it's called A/B testing. What is A/B testing? Well, we use technology to split your website in 2 parts, and in one part of the website we do some changes, and in the other part of the website we leave it as it is, and then we just let it run for a couple of weeks, and we collect the data, and then we have the results, the insights, and we know what happened where. So for example, you have your website, you have a button there, and it's having the text click here, whatever that is, or different color. We just create a different copy, different kind of button, and then after a few weeks of running for 10,000 visitors, for example, we see that the blue button converts better, people like it more, and the copy is more clear. So we have 10% more people clicking it. We have 10% more conversions, candidates, whatever that is. It depends on your KPI. So practically, this is what we're doing day-to-day basis. So we use data to have actionable insights and decision making only through data.
Yeah, I understood, and you were mentioning the start is a KPI which they provide to you. Is it something, if I understood that correctly, or?
Yeah, so for example, your main KPI is conversions, right? So you have, could be leads, for example, in your world, right? So we need to find a way to boost that up. And maybe your copy is not good, maybe your products are not visible, maybe your message is not clear. And we are working around, we have a team of experts, Zero experts, that they're gonna scan your website, your product, your alignment in the market, and they will give you hypotheses on what could it be better. And then we have, let's say, 4 ideas. Hey, look, this is where you hurt. This is what you need to change. And we do have some hypotheses. We run through them, and we start from the ones that have, the highest rating, and then we start implementing. And we're testing stuff. After a few weeks of testing, get everything done, we have data, we have conclusions, and then you only get results through data. So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah. What is a typical result which you can obtain with this strategy of Zero A/B testing?
So let's say you do have a lot of leads, but your leads are not quality leads. So you need more quality leads. So you come to me and we're like, hey, look, come Small Giants, like we do have leads, but we need more quality leads because our leads are not the ones we expect. It's not fitting our KPIs. So that will be your main KPI, right? More quality leads. What are we going to do? Yes, we're going to scan your content and we're going to tell you, hey, you're missing important stuff. You're missing USPs, unique selling points, for example. So let's try to put that higher in the page, And now I'm actually talking, it's a very good coincidence that I'm having a big recruitment client this month, that I'm also doing a lot of new stuff. Of course, if you go in our website, you see we work with a lot of people in recruitment marketing, a lot of companies. But now we have a new client and we're testing a lot of new stuff. So it's really awesome that I can give you inside information of what things I see. Oh yeah, so it's a free cheat sheet. So yeah, so we're using, for example, USPs. They don't have unique selling points. It's a big company and they're like, hey, you're missing USPs. And that's why you don't have quality leads, because everybody's just applying, but you don't have the niche you actually are specialist for. So we added that there, and then we see immediately in 1 week, 10%, 8.5%, I just run it to 10, but like 8.5% in 1 week, which I think is going to get even more up of quality leads now. And that was very simple because the problem was the copy. The copy was not clear enough. So this is a very, very easy example of how you can improve your quality leads, for example, and you can achieve your main KPI.
Yeah, so the company attracts talent to their website, but you're saying the content is not clear.
Exactly.
You change that and you see an 8%.
Exactly. And then you do have leads, but not the leads you want. Yeah. So yes, you have a lot of people signing in, but yeah, it doesn't really matter because actually it's only a problem for you. You have so many CVs to go through, but the quality leads are very low. So with the right content, the people come to your website and you're like, actually, this is not for me. This is not what they're looking for. They have a clear message. They know that you're looking for. Then only the people that they really are into your audience box, let's say, are there. So yeah, boom, immediately improvement. So this is a very, very small techniques we use and very simple techniques. Of course, other stuff like page alignment, functionalities, for example, that you may not notice from a technical perspective. This really helps improve the experience and the candidates and reaching your KPIs eventually.
How do you find out? Because I can also imagine it's quite some research to find out that the content or the USP is not clear. How do you find that out?
Yes, that's a great question. And the answer that you will hear a lot today from me is data. We have data. We have data from a lot of other clients, but we have data from the market as well. So when I see a copy, I know, or when our copywriter sees a copy, they know that, okay, this is not fitting here, right? This is not the people. If you are, for example, in STEM, right, and your copy is generic, yeah, it's not going to help you because you really need specific copy, and each discipline has different needs. So the data we have, for example, as I tell in STEM, they tell us, okay, this audience, they're looking for this kind of copy. And yeah, I can go in details, but yeah, I don't think there's importance there. It's all about data. So I will just wrap it up there. It's all about data. You need to have your data grouped and to make data-driven decisions. So that's the best way to have the results you're looking for.
But you have a company, data not well structured. That's 9 out of 10 times. So how do you
especially
start?
Exactly, and especially for my discipline, because we work with websites, right? So we improve websites. Websites, and I'll be brutally honest here, 95% of the websites are built by designers, but not by data engineers. So you have a nice, pretty website which is not really working because the copies are like random and the bottoms are different and the structure of the page with big banners is nice, but it's not really what we are looking for. So I think what we're doing different is working with data and it's really hitting the spot there.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. And in terms of what kind of tools are you using to optimize the data and to improve it?
Yeah, of course, we use, the last 2 years, we use a lot of AI, right? To understand each pane and to be able to structure our data how we want it. So every AI tool will be able nowadays to give you a good structure and a good summary of the data you have and guide you through what you are really looking for. So I would say whatever whatever AI tool you want to use, because nowadays, there's differences, but not that much. Yeah, everything you use, it's really, really important to specify it there. But also, of course, you have tools like HubSpot that really helps, and yeah, it depends of really like the market you are, to be honest.
Yeah, understood. But you also hear in the market that people say, yeah, but you can just plug it in ChatGPT. With the people who don't really understand AI, how do you cope with that kind of questions? Is this like putting your data in the AI and you get an answer, or it's more
No,
difficult, right?
this is a simple trap that everybody falls. Hey, AI can fix everything for me. Yes, as long as you know the right question to ask, right? So yes, you can have massive amount of data, but you need to ask the right questions. You need to be able to structure the AI to give you the right answers. And I see the pitfall that everybody falls is they don't know how to ask the right questions. And this is, comes from lack of knowledge or lack of understanding. So yeah, you need to have the right questions so you have the right answers.
And is this then, is this something you can learn those companies, or is this certain expertise in combination with the data of the other clients, which is the reason they should hire you?
It is something you can learn. It's something you can be educated in, but also the experience is the biggest factor here, right? For us, it's very, very easy. As I told you, we got a new client last month. We started with them in a week. We have like almost 10% uplifts in the conversion. How did that happen? Was it magic? No, it was experience. Because we're doing what? Best practices. They're best practices for everything, right? Best practices. It doesn't matter what your website is selling. Is it CVs? Is it products? Is it cars? Whatever it is, they're best practices. And that is, for example, make your website more visible, make your products more visible, put USPs, clear messages, copies. These are standard stuff. This is best practices. So just by doing the top 5 best practices, let's say, you're already going to have a big uplift. And we know the best practices of each discipline and market because we have tons of experience, years of experience, tons of clients, and we go through that. We already know. We already know what's wrong, and from there we do a big uplift and slowly iterating, getting better and better after that. So yeah, I think the answer is years of experience and a lot of data that we have already.
And when you say the A/B testing, that starts with a few assumptions, and that is only on the website itself. Is it only visuals, or is it also on the back end things you change?
It could be anything, actually. It could not be only in the website. It would be your email campaigns. You can A/B test your email campaigns. If you don't see like people, only 20% of the people in your newsletter or your campaigns open your email, then it's not an assumption. You already know the problem, right? So then you need to A/B test different templates, different emails, different content. I will give you one more example. You are having a website and you know you're in your vacancy page, immediately you have 80% bounce rate. And what is bounce rate? For those who doesn't hear that before, is when people landing on your website and they leave within a second. Something is wrong or something is not clear. So now you don't need an assumption that something is wrong in your website. You know that something is wrong in that website, and this is your first clue. How you solve that, then you start testing slowly, piece by piece, from what you see from up to down, different stuff. Something is working, functional stuff, maybe something is broken, maybe the copy is not clear, maybe the website, it looks like trash, so you don't really want to be there anymore. So yeah, there's not you start with assumptions, but first you need to track the problem. So I think that's the way to do it.
And in a way you provide feedback.
Yes, exactly.
I can also imagine that there's certain things which you should install on the website, or
I'm not sure about this. Come again.
For example, you have like a very broad campaign. People are coming over. You have your zero optimizations you implement, which you want to give feedback to maybe Meta or LinkedIn or Google to have better candidates coming in again.
Yeah, exactly. From there, from your data, then when you change the campaign, you do a different variation, different variant. You understand what is going wrong, and from there you optimize the next campaign, the B version of the campaign, and then you put that feedback in, and clearly you will see if this is working or not. This is the most important thing, right? Because Doing A/B testing, it doesn't mean you always find the right answer. Actually, mostly you find the wrong answer. But also that is a good thing because you know what you don't want to do. So if you do a change and you see this is really not working, it's not a waste of time. This is actually a valuable insight because now you know this is not the direction we need to go, right? We need to go that direction.
Explain that. How do you explain that to clients?
By data. By data. It's actually that's a really good question. It's the most difficult part is to explain that and to be able to back up the ROI, right? The return on investment in that. And the best way to do it is, for example, when you're doing website changes, and they're like, I have a client who's like, okay, we have a new website now, a new design. We want to put it live, and I'm like, we're not going to put it live. We're going to test it first, and then we're going to put it live. And then we test it, and then they realize that this is not good. So they saved a tremendous amount of money. If they would just put it live, maybe the conversion would drop 10%, 20%. I had experiences that the conversion dropped 80% after I changed the website. So that's how you back it up. And by giving a lot of insights and data, again, I'm coming a lot with this word, saying a lot about data because I think it's really important for people slowly in the age we are now, the age of AI, to be able to learn about their data, collect their data, and use it for their advantage because there's so much you can learn. So how you convince somebody showing the data and like, okay, instead of telling we did an experiment and it didn't work, you can tell we did an experiment and actually we've seen that if we implement that, we would have lost 100K. And then they're like, oh, so we saved 100K. Exactly. So you never lost. And that's what I'm saying, A/B testing, you never lose. You always win. So it's something I always say to my clients, and it's really hard to grasp in the beginning, but I think if you slowly go into deeper into the niche, they really understand. We have clients who work together now for like 7 years, 10 years, and we build the websites from scratch, and they really trust us now, and they see the value. And I think slowly everybody's moving that way. Because CRO, it's not that old in the market, right? It's like 10 to 15 years. But slowly everybody's going into the hype train and they see the value. And sometimes the most difficult part is to really convince the people that you need this. And you really need to have that. And really helps with your KPIs, with your leads and everything. So, yeah.
Maybe a bold question. Personally, my vision is a little bit like, you have a lot of companies who still present their vacancies like, okay, here you have 100 vacancies, like really the old school way, just find it out and go for it. How do you see that? Like, we don't see a lot of developments there with companies.
Can you go one more time with the question?
Yeah, so for example, you had like, in the past you had like Google, right?
Yeah.
They invented really smart, like the old way of looking for certain stuff. Why is it still so difficult to find a vacancy which suits you? You see a lot of them out there, like you never know how to start and what suits you.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's the biggest pain, right, in the recruitment, to be able to find the right vacancy for the right person. I think the reason of that is because the market, the recruitment marketing is I would say, I'll be bold if I say it's a little bit behind, for example, from e-commerce. E-commerce is like using technology and tooling and copy like in insane level, right? See Amazon and all that stuff. The recruitment marketing is a little bit more behind on this, and also I would say is a little bit more difficult in there because you only have to do with people, and there's so much. Are
there maybe things you try to copy from e-commerce?
A lot of things, yeah. Oh my God! But the e-commerce is showing the way, of course, in recruitment marketing. A lot of things. I was thinking like for example, recruitment marketing now is going. Then this is what I think is what is changing in the next 5 to 10 years, right? I think even way faster, right? I think it's like regular marketing, but instead of selling products, you sell jobs, right? And the idea of working in your company. And back then, as you said, you post 100 jobs and everything. But now you see also that they start posting on TikTok, on Instagram, and stuff like that. So I think recruitment marketing should and will eventually, because that's the only go to go forward, steal stuff from e-commerce or from other disciplines by getting more into socials, for example, and creating more vibrant campaigns, create more, I don't know, like everything is more specific for the audience they want. So I think it will get there eventually. I think it's a little bit more behind right now.
It really seems like you're passionate about the work you do.
Ha! Thank you. I do love what I'm doing, yes, because it fuels me. It's something I love problem solving. I love problem solving since I was a kid. It was one of my favorite things. You put me in front of a screen with a video game to solve all these little puzzles and stuff, I'd stay there for hours. And that passion I took into my work. And it's amazing to be able to help. Not only help yourself, but help somebody else. And this is something in my nature. I have a very broad background as well in hospitality as well. And I really like that yeah, I'm very, very passionate to be able to help you achieve your goals. But the most important thing for me that drives me is the problem solving. That, hey, we have a problem. We don't have the right candidates. We don't have the right leads. How we can solve it? And then immediately I'm going into puzzle mode. And I'm going looking into data. I'm going writing tests, writing code. For me, it's not even working. A lot of people, they told me you have a passion in work. I'm like, this is not even work for me. This is like, I love it. And especially when you see the results in 1, 2, 3 months, 1 year, the company is growing, you're growing with the company. So yeah, it's a chain that is unbreakable when you just start laying it out. And yeah, it fuels me. It fuels me because I see the results. It's amazing. It's the most important thing, I think.
Yeah, it really shows. But I was thinking about what you said earlier about best practices. It all sounds very logical. But what stops others from doing the same?
What stops? Yeah, they don't have the data. A lot of companies, they try to. That's a really nice question. Let me elaborate on this. Stealing what others do is not working because your audience is different. Yeah? You want to steal what Amazons do in bol.com, it's not going to work. Why? Because bol.com is a Dutch-driven market. Well, Dutch-driven market is not the same with American market. We're talking about different people. And here, that is the key puzzle, right? The key puzzle is the people. So you cannot copy what I do in my website because I sell different products than you, or maybe we sell the same product but to different people. And yes, of course, you can steal some stuff, but maybe, again, I will come always back with examples. I do have 2 e-commerce clients, for example, or 2 recruitment clients, and I do 1 test for the client, right? And it's really doing great. And then I'm like, oh, great, now I'm going to do it to the other client, and it's really going to make work. Actually, it's worse because different people. We have different audience, you have different people in your page. So you cannot really steal stuff and work. You can, it might work, but that's not the way to go because eventually you'll come into a wall that, you have different markets, different people coming in your website, and yeah, it's not really working. You need to know the data on your website. You need to know your audience, and this is what zero and A/B testing really is about. It's about learning your audience. To put it in a perspective for everybody to understand better is, it's my favorite thing, right, to say, is like, I want to create an experience in your website like you have in an actual store. So in an actual store, what's the difference in a website? In the actual store, the difference is somebody's there to help you if you get stuck. So if I go to Albert Heijn and I'm looking for something and it's not there, I just ask someone, hey, can I ask you, where is this product? I cannot find it. And then, oh, there it is. Oh, we don't have it, whatever that is. So this you cannot have it on your website. Actually, you might now with the chatbots, which is not really working 100%. But with A/B testing, you can see what your people are struggling with. And then you can collect this data and you can fix stuff from there. So yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
But also, I really like your vision in terms of e-commerce. It's like 100 years ahead of
Yeah.
recruitment marketing. I'm totally at the same page, and I also believe that we will go there. But I think there's one huge difference, of course, when someone enters your website, when you look for a job, you want to sell the job. I think that's exactly the same as with e-commerce, but the only difference is don't know if someone is qualified or not.
Yeah.
How do you cope with that, with your data and your campaigns?
Yeah, I think this is the biggest challenge, right, for recruitment marketing. And again, I will end up to an example, and that will be, for example, better copy. If you explain exactly what you're looking for in a really good way, you're not going to have all this noise on your CVs. The people that are like, hey, we're looking for this, and that, really, you can adjust your form. For example, is something I did as well. You can add stuff in your form, or you can remove stuff from your form. So everybody, I'm always, my mind is always popping with ideas. As long as I'm talking about this, I have ideas. How can I do it better? So, for example, you look in the STEM market something, and you're looking for, I don't know, a scientist or a mathematician or a programmer. You can add this extra field with a drop down that, hey, we're looking for this, and this. Where are you? And then again, you can have quality leads in or not. But the better copy you have, the more quality leads you're going to have there. So you can adjust very simply your form, and in your form have one extra field. Where are you standing in this matter? For example, I'm not going to go in detail now what could it be, but I think you get the idea, right? So where do you stand in this matter from A to D to C, whatever? And then if he's like, I'm in B, so like, no, because I'm looking for C. Okay, great, thank you. You're not, you're not in the talent pool I'm looking for. So that's some nice tricks and ways to be able to filter and remove the nuisance, but also have more quiet leads.
And in a market whereby it's difficult to find people, because I can imagine when there are enough people coming into your website and there are qualified ones, you should attract them. But in a situation whereby there are not enough candidates and maybe there are people who can grow to a certain role, how do you cope with that in your copy?
I think, this is very specific, right? This is really difficult. I think the best way to adjust is by learning and experimenting. Experimenting and learning, sorry, I'm going to switch it around. So there is not a single answer to that. I cannot have this answer. The only way to be able to reach the answer and the final conclusion is by experimenting and sit down, okay, how can I actually do that? How can I actually have someone that he can reach that level? How can I bring that in? You need to experiment, you need to fail a lot, and eventually by the data you will collect, you will find the way to do it. I wish there was a simple answer like A or B.
I think it's understood.
I think the answer there is experimentation. Experimentation, really experimentation, and try to find the right way. Fail a lot, learn from your failure, apply whatever you learned into the next step, experiment more.
And is that also how you can optimize your different marketing channels? Like you should put maybe 50 euros in Google, 30 in Meta, and 100 in LinkedIn?
100%, of course. And this is something you can always adjust. Hey, if you're if you're in LinkedIn doing great, maybe you reduce it there and put a little bit more on Meta. And then you see that's not working, and then you just play with the numbers. You just tune it here and there, and you find the results you're looking for. Yeah, and it's again and again. I'm keep going to tell you, experimentation. Try different stuff, experiment, and you'll get more data. More data equals better results. Decision driven. It's the way to go.
Yeah, and you always get enough data to also make those certain decisions because
No, not always enough data. Unfortunately, I wish it was that simple. You don't always get enough data, but you always get data, and data is enough to start from somewhere. So if you don't get enough data, the data you have, it will push you to the right direction to be able to collect somewhere more data or better quality data. Maybe I don't have enough data, but I can actually filter it to be able to extract what I'm looking for and go from there. So it's of course we wish we had all the data we wanted, but sometimes from less data you can come to better conclusions because you can go strictly in the right way. If that answers my question.
Yeah. And maybe a topic which we did not focus on yet, in terms of behavioral psychology. Could you explain a little bit more what the background is and how that works?
That's a secret. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
No.
Well, behavior psychology is
maybe, but what is it?
Yeah, it's to be able to understand the visitor, the user in a deeper level, and from there come to conclusions and predict their actions and everything. I mean, it's a very broad market. It's a very broad niche, behavior psychology. But I'm not sure if I can just put it in simple words. It's a very big, it's a very broad, topic. So if you ask me specific things, I can give you specific answers.
Understood. Okay. Maybe on a different note. So you're indeed very passionate. You do a lot of research. You know everything about data.
Not everything, but I know a few things.
That was the question. What are you missing now? Is there something which maybe some kind of tool which would really help you in making it even improve it?
I think each market has different needs, right? So I hope there was a specific tool that you can combine all this stuff and improve the overall experience. What I miss from data, it's again it's very broad. It's very broad. It depends on the market. It depends on the niche and the field. I think now the most difficult part is for people to able to process data. And as I said, to be able to ask the right questions and to be able to find the small details inside all this data. And you can use algorithms, of course. You can use AI to be able to find patterns and everything. I think what we are missing is processing data in a large scale. So I think a tool that can save data in a large scale. Now that I'm coming up with great product ideas while I'm talking. So actually what I would miss and will make my life a lot easier in my field, for example, is a tool that it can be able to, for example, for each test we're doing for each client, to be able to save all this data there and have a massive database of all the results, and from there filter, iterate, and come to conclusions, spot patterns, spot problems or opportunities, this kind of stuff. AI can do a lot of that, but it cannot really process large amounts of tests efficiently right now. You can do your own, let's say, AI or your own algorithm to be able to fix that kind of stuff, but this is still difficult. I think a tool that I would miss for my niche is a huge database processor that can find all these things I'm looking for, and you can adjust it step by step to be able to understand what you really want, and from there get valuable insights.
And that is really from the beginning to the end of the funnel, like an all solution.
Yes, exactly. From the beginning to the end of the funnel, and to be able to always be agile, to change what you're looking for. Maybe now you need this, then you need that. And things that'll be really awesome to have it.
But is it because every client has a different need, right? That also makes it difficult, and maybe that's also the reason it's not there yet. That to have one
exactly, and also every client has different needs, and and then as I'm talking, I'm telling you, I'm coming with ideas how you can solve this, but. And also like the processing power you need to be able to do something like that efficiently, the database you need, it's some work. It's something I think it will become way easier in the future, But for now, it's a little bit more like a challenge.
Yeah. And is this also on the e-commerce side or also recruitment, on both?
I think on both. I think on both. As I tell the recruitment, the problem with recruitment is like we have way less data, right? So if you're looking for ideas in e-commerce, there's a billion of them. Go find a great e-commerce website. If I'm looking at ideas for a great e-commerce website because I want to make one, tell me 5. You can come up now with 5 great e-commerce websites, but can you come now with 5 great recruitment websites, recruitment marketing websites? Immediately? I think no. You can come up with 1 or 2 because you know you're familiar. But if you ask a person in the road, just go walk around. Hey, can you tell me a great website that I can look for? I don't know, for chips, whatever product, something. And like, oh yeah, go to bol.com. Oh yeah, go to Amazon. But if you do that, the same person for work, will they tell you? Will they find it, or will they struggle? Yeah, I think it's a little bit still not matured enough, but it will get there. Whoever gets there first is a big winner. So yeah, we're working it, but yeah, you will get there, I think.
Are you also having a small giants and more focus on the recruitment parties, or is it still?
No, we do have more and more recruitment parties coming in, and that is a big, let's say, flag that things are moving to that direction, because we are an agency, right? We do have a lot of people coming in to help, and mostly the last 5 years, the last 6-7 years actually, 90% the people are coming in for zero and A/B testing, if not 95%, were e-commerce, web shops and marketplaces, and barely you have some from e-commerce want to do A/B tests. They don't even like the websites, even they were not supporting anything like that. It would look like 1988 or something. But now we have more and more. Now we have more clients. I told you last month I had another new client coming in, and now I have multiple clients from this discipline. And for me, this is a sign that hey, we're heading the right direction. People are learning more about it. I even think like after people were gonna watch this content and this podcast, they'd be like, oh wow, actually can I do this in my website? And something that I can say as well that it might help. It's how easy it is to do. It's not something that you need a huge team and a huge budget. You don't need that. You need maybe an agency to get you started, and then you need 1 or 2 people to focus on that and what you can get out of this. And I say the biggest plus of all this industry is the return on investment. You invest so little to get so much. I'm also very active on LinkedIn for people that want to connect with me and see a lot of stuff. I didn't experiment. I put it live. I put it on my LinkedIn, I think a few months ago for one of our clients. We did the tiniest change that I spent 2 hours to create, right? And 2 hours, I'm not going to tell my billable rate out live, but it's not that much, you know. It's 2 hours that I put in, and we achieved 2% extra conversion rate. How much does that translate for them? It was 8 million euros for this 2 hours, and this is the return on investment they spent for me spending 2 hours to fix a little thing. They eventually had 2% at conversion rate uplift because that was a big, like a small change, but a big influence. And you can really see that for all this budget they earned, all this money they earned, it was nothing return on investment wise. So I think everybody should encrypt in their DNAs, in their brand's DNA, zero and A/B testing. And I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about you, Dirk, about you, Thomas, in your websites, in your personal pages, conversion rate optimization. See what works, what is not, audit, scan stuff. And if you implement that, you'll have better conversions, more quality leads, it's overall improving the experience for everybody and your results.
Yeah. And if you would, it's I think a great example. But if you now would hire someone in your team, would it be someone with all the technical expertise, or maybe more like who can explain it like in easy words to someone?
Well, we're hiring. Yeah, it depends on the need. I think we do have a lot of technical expertise, but yeah, you can never have enough, right? So yeah, technical is important to be able, especially for us because we're doing a lot of software engineering as well, right? So we would something like that would really be helpful because nowadays I think if you have a really good technical understanding, and you can say something in a really technical way. If I want to explain something now very technical to you, how would I do it? I would write it technical. I was going to write through AI, and I'm saying explain to someone who's not in the field, and then it will fill it for you. So yeah, AI can simplify a lot of stuff and can help us with a lot of stuff. So yeah, now we're looking for more technical stuff, and the explanation is always easier, I think.
Yeah, maybe Nikolas, it's something we miss. Maybe you quickly want to discuss.
Something I want to discuss. I think for everybody, it's really important to be able, as I said, to encrypt CRO and A/B testing. Just research, just learn what it is. It is something that is not very difficult to start with. You can start by yourself, all right? And you don't really need to spend a lot of money or a lot of development. You can get a free tool to do stuff for you, and then you slowly start. And when you see the value and when you see the return on investment, then you can hire an agency to help you to bootstrap everything together. And from there, if it goes well, I'm going to tell you, I work with big clients in the Netherlands that we worked together for 6 years. And I was more happy when they left than when they came because we create for them, we give them all the knowledge to be able to create their own team. And now they're thriving. And we're like, it always hurts when someone is leaving. But then when you help to create a culture out of this, yeah, I think it's something very, very important for everybody to educate themselves to a good level to be able to do CRO and A/B testing. Something I want to touch upon for recruitment marketing, I think is really important, is be more visible in socials. This is a cheat sheet, again, a hack, a growth hack that you can that I see is really working. So I will give you a small insight, which it's a secret, don't share. No, that's okay. It's like really try to copy big companies like, I don't know, like Booking.com or stuff like that, to be able for the people, for the leads you want, share what you're doing more visible on your socials, make a video of the working day, who is your company, what exactly you're looking for, be more transparent, and be honest, be out there, visible. I think this is something that a lot of big companies in recruitment, they miss. They're not very visible on social. And now the trends are all going. So for example, I don't have a TikTok, but like everybody else has. And if you're looking to recruit talent and young talent, and you told me, how can I get someone to grow there? If you're looking for young talent, where are you going to find them? You're not going to find them, I think, in Indeed. The young people, they don't even know what Indeed is anymore. And I see a lot of big companies, they're recruiting now from TikTok, from Instagram, from Reels, Facebook, YouTube. That is the way to go. If this is where the market is, you need to be able to spot the talent and find where the talent is. And nowadays, the young talent is there, for example. So how many recruitment companies have TikTok? I don't know many. So for example, right, and socials is, I think, a cheat sheet as well, that a lot of companies, in general, the media usage is something that it can really improve. And then last thing I want to give a cheat sheet as well is be able to use AI as efficient as possible. And the most efficient way to use AI is to store a lot of data somewhere. And everything you're doing, store it. I know for a lot of people, they're skeptic about it. They're like, I don't know, I don't want to share my chats or my email responses to AI because blah, blah, blah. Just do it. Trust me. If there's AI war coming in 100 years, I don't know. But like, if really you need to store your data in one certain place. And when you have a huge database, as I say, data is gold. The more data you have, the better decision making you're going to have, and you're only winning. So try to store as much data as you have, as much results as you have for your attempts, your experimentation, and from there you will be able eventually to spot what worked, what not. But the most important, you will do your first step on facilitating a culture of data experimentation and progress. I think this is the most important thing.
Okay, cool. And yeah, very nice to end with this, I think. Totally on the same page. We always end this with a small round. Don't think too much. Like if it's like 3 quick fire questions. Is there a certain book that you would recommend to the audience?
A certain book that I would read.
Zero, but could also be something else, or maybe another podcast, or.
Co-intellegence is a book I'm reading right now. Co-intellegence is a book written I think 1.5 years ago, and is explaining a lot about AI and how we can coexist with it and how it will look like in the future. I think it is a book that you should and everybody should read, because we really gonna coexist with this new entity that is coming. I think AI is, a lot of people, they're still not into it, but I think AI is what it was internet back in 1995. Not a lot of people use it, not a lot of people need it, but today you cannot live without internet. So I think 10 years forward, you cannot live without AI. And co-intelligence is a really good start for everybody to understand a little bit more about AI and its complexity, its usage, and its benefits.
Okay, cool. Do you have a certain kind of mentor or inspirational figure which you follow, which you get motivation from?
As I said, I'm very active on LinkedIn, and I do have a lot of connections there. I do follow a lot of people. If there's a specific person, not really, because I work with so much talented people. And for example, in Small Giants, we have so many talented people that we're 50 people, and everybody's a specialist on their niche. So all these people, they inspire me in daily basis. I learn so much. And we all mentor each other, and also I get mentorship from my clients, and I give mentorship. It's back and forth. I cannot single it down to one person. I think I'm very, very blessed that I have a lot of smart people around me, and yeah.
Okay.
I think all of the people around there.
In 5 years' time, where do you want to be with Small Giants?
The leaders in MarTech, we really are growing very fast. 5 years ago, we were like with 12 people. Now we're 50 people. It's growing. We're growing very fast, and we want to expand to different markets, different countries, different niches, and I really am sure we're going to be there in 5 years. So in our next interview, it's going to be way more broad. Everything we're going to talk about.
Maybe it's rep office in Rodos.
Yeah, awesome. Let's do it. It's a deal.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.